Welcome, beautiful ones. Here today, sharing another video with you with 3 recipes with beautiful Mama Cacao. These are going to be 3 recipes using different ingredients, different methods of preparing her for when you're traveling, when you're at home. And I really want to invite you as well to bring your freedom and your creativity. So I'm just sharing with you some of my basic ones, but I really love when people tune into the energy of Mama Cacao and then they play with her essence, they play with her energy, they play with different herbs. So these are just my basic recipes, but I invite you to add your own twists onto them. So I have shared in some of my other videos, but I'll talk about it briefly here again. With dosage with cacao, if you're preparing a large ceremonial grade dosage, I would say maximum would be 45 grams. And on a daily basis, I would say between 15, 25 grams is good. But if you are pregnant or if you've got heart conditions, then I would say no more than 20, 25 grams for a ceremonial dose. And how I feel personally about using sweeteners and about using milks with my cacao is that what she shared with me is when you're drinking her in a ceremonial way is to keep her as bitter as possible. Because she shared with me that as people on this earth, we like to try and make things more palatable for our needs and for our tastes. And actually, there's something in her medicine about tuning into that bitterness and still finding the sweetness within. So I invite you, if possible, not to add sweetener, especially if you're doing a ceremony for yourself or for other people. If you're just starting out in your journey with cacao and you really can't bear it, then a little bit of honey at the end, a little bit of panela, organic coconut sugar, that is fine. But the same with plant-based milk. It's all about, we're trying to make her more palatable, but actually we're losing in some way the real taste and the real essence of cacao. So I really invite you to sit with it. So when you prepare ceremonial cacao, I really like to start off by cleansing my whole space. I like to have a little altar in my kitchen wherever I can, even when I'm traveling. And I just like to cleanse myself, especially if I'm preparing for other people. I like to cleanse the cacao. I like to prepare my board, prepare my knife, cleanse my hands, the stove, everything. So you can use Palo Santo, Agua de Florida, some sage, whatever feels good and true for you. And then when you're cutting and preparing your ceremonial cacao, I really invite you to just take a moment, whether it's for yourself or for whoever you're preparing it for, and just take a moment to yourself in stillness and in prayer and just start beginning and preparing your intentions of why you're preparing this cup of cacao. And then you can either pray as you're cutting it, and we'll pray or sing a little bit more as we're cooking it on the stove. But I really invite you to start this sacred process in this moment. And you can sing as you begin to chop it, but really begin pouring your energy into this beautiful block of sacred medicine that's traveled so far to make it into your home. So sometimes I like to sing a little song. Sometimes I like to pray out loud. Sometimes I just like to offer prayers silently from my heart. And you can use some weighing scales if you want to be accurate. I just do it by eye. And that's about a 40-gram dose, I would say. So now I'm going to show you 3 different ways to prepare it on the stove. So the first easy way to prepare cacao I want to share with you all is literally by bringing water to a boil, and then in your cup, your beautiful ceremonial cacao cup, just putting the shredded cacao at the bottom. And then we're just going to make a paste. So we're going to pour a little bit of the hot water, just a tiny bit, into the cacao. And then using a wooden spoon, we're going to stir and just begin creating a paste. And what I really like about this way of preparing cacao is it actually takes quite a lot of patience. And it really brings you into presence with the medicine. And you have to work for it. You have to work to make it smooth and creamy. So there's something beautiful about that process, I find. And you just add a little bit of water, keep stirring, make it into a paste. And again, you can sing, you can put your prayers into it in this moment. Mamacita, cacaocita, mamacita, cacao. Mamacita, cacaocita, mamacita, cacao, cacaocita, madrecita, madrecita, cacao. And then you just keep little by little adding the hot water and stirring, allowing the cacao to melt. And you should be finished with a beautiful, smooth, prepared ceremonial cup of cacao that's ready to go and be enjoyed. So the second recipe I'm going to share with you with cacao is going to be a more spiced version, which was quite typical that they would do in the Mayan, Aztec times. They would like to add cinnamon, but also they'd love to add chili or chili powder. And that's because chili actually opens the vessels in the heart to receive the medicine in a different way. So again, in the same way, I bring my water to a boil. And then this is what I like to do. I add a little bit of chili flakes, so you can do chili powder, and then just turn it off. I like to add a little bit of powdered ginger, but again, this is optional. And like I said earlier, just experiment. And then also a classic thing that they would use was vanilla. So if you have a fresh vanilla pod, even better. But this is a sugar-free vanilla syrup. So I just add a few drops of that. And then I add the beautiful cacao. So this method, we're going to use a blender. I'm going to do it off camera to spare you from the noise, but you can either do this in a kind of normal household blender, or what's really nice is a handheld immersion blender. Both of these make really beautiful, frothy bubbles. And when it comes to the bubbles and it brings rainbows, the Mayans and Aztecs used to say that was the sign that the feathered serpent, the Quetzalcoatl, was in the medicine. And they really believed it brought more luck and more joy and more beauty, and that it had been blessed by this spirit. So that's why I really like using a blender for this method. So once you've added everything, you can either then pour it into this blender or use the handheld blender. So whilst I was blending this beautiful medicina, I was putting my prayers, putting my intention, and you can sing like I shared earlier, and you can see it's gone into beautiful, frothy, smooth bubbles now. So I'm just going to pour it into my cup. And, you know, when we blend it in this way, it's mixing all of the beautiful spices in together. And you can just really see, I don't know if it captures it on camera, but these beautiful rainbow bubbles, this beautiful energy that's come. And then you can take your beautiful cacao and enjoy it. So the third and final method I'm going to share with you is using a whisk. Ideally, you would have this beautiful instrument that's traditional in Central America called a mollino. And this is like a wooden style whisk that they would have used traditionally to prepare their ceremonial cacao. But I'm aware that's not available for everyone. So what I like to use is just a little small handheld one. And I'm also going to show you using rose tea. You can do this with any other kind of herbal tea. There's beautiful combinations with cacao such as nettle, mugwort, blue lotus. So it's just about experimenting with the tea you want to blend her with and seeing what works well for you. So I've just, again, brought my rose tea to a boil. I'm not going to take the petals out. I quite like chewing on them, but you can if you want to. And then you just simply add the chopped cacao into the pan with the heat off, and then use your whisk or mollino if you have one, and just begin blending And again, you can pray, you can sing. Mama Cacao, Mama Cacao, Mama Cacao, Mama Cacao, Cacacita, Cacao, Madrecita, Cacao, Cacacita, Cacao, Madrecita, Cacao. And then when you're ready, you can just pour it into your cup. And even without a blender, you've managed to create beautiful bubbles and foam yourself. And then bring it to your altar, to your sacred space to enjoy. So thank you so much for watching this video and exploring with me different ways of preparing ceremonial grade cacao. And again, I really invite you to be creative and explore for yourself what feels good for you. And it might differ each day and each moment. So I just want to offer from my heart to yours a beautiful, beautiful journey with you and Mama Cacao. Enjoy.